Hi, everyone, and thank you for your interest in the Appalachian Community Grant Program. As we kick off round two, we want all applicants to have the best resources and information available to them. This training will give a high-level overview of the program. We'll walk through the online application and cover some best practices. We encourage you to print out the program application and take notes as we go through. In addition, please utilize the program guidelines and rubric that are available on the program webpage. In 2022, Governor DeWine signed House Bill 377, which created the Appalachian Community Grant Program. This program allocates $500 million from the American Rescue Plan Act to support transformational projects in Appalachia. The Governor's Office of Appalachia is responsible for the administration of the program and will leverage relationships with federal, state, and local partners to maximize the long-term impact of these funds. Activities funded by the program need to include components from one of three priorities: infrastructure, workforce, and healthcare. In round one for shovel-ready projects, $50 million was awarded to 4 projects, as well as nearly $30 million in planning and technical assistance funds. 20 planning firms were procured by the Department of Development to assist communities in planning, preliminary design, and grant writing. Round 2 applications open November 6th and will close December 8th. Awards will be announced in the first quarter of 2024. More than $420 million is available to apply for this round.
We have had a lot of interest in this program. It will be competitive. Not every project that applies will be funded, but there may be other resources available. If you have not done so already, we encourage you to connect with your local development district for resources available through them. We've also included a list of other state programs and tools that may have resources available to help with specific pieces of your project. You can find all of those online at development.ohio.gov/Appalachian Community Grant on the resources page. Before we begin, we encourage you to all review House Bill 377, State Treasury and Final Rule, the program guidelines, and the rubric. Those are all available for viewing on the resources page. As you complete the application, we recommend a few best practices. 1. Complete your application in Chrome or Firefox browsers. Using Internet Explorer or Microsoft Edge may cause unexpected issues in displaying or utilizing applications. 2. Save your application as you go. You can save the application at any time by clicking the Save button at the bottom of any page. We encourage saving each page of the application as it is completed. If you are a nonprofit, make sure you are in good standing prior to starting or completing your application. And please be sure to review the information on lead applicants, also available in the resource section.
To complete an application, you'll need to create an Ohio ID. It's free and will never share your personal information. Go to ohid.ohio.gov and click Create OHID Account. To complete your account setup, you will need an email address that you can currently access to receive a one-time PIN and confirmation email, your legal first and last names, and your date of birth. During the account creation process, you will be prompted to create your desired username and password. Requirements will be provided. If you already have an OHID but forgot your username or password, go to ohid.ohio.gov and click Forgot Your OHID or Password and follow the prompts. Once you're logged in, you must enter a federal tax ID.
Once you put your federal tax ID in, it will take you to your application list, which will either be blank if you've never applied before or have previous applications. Select New Application to go to the next page. We recommend saving each page as you go along to ensure that all of your progress is saved within your application. In the application, you'll see several tabs across the top. The first is information about the applicant organization. Before you move forward to complete the application, you will need the following: a federal tax ID number, an OAKS ID, and a unique entity identifier. You'll notice that the OAKS ID is not marked as mandatory to move on with your application, but it is necessary if you were to be awarded a grant. We recommend that you fill this out prior to getting started with the rest of your application, but please make sure to complete this prior to submission. You'll then need to submit your applicant address. This is the mailing address of your lead applicant organization, not your main project site. You'll also need to complete your project contact information. Please make sure to add 2 contacts, both who is preparing the application and the authorized official on the project. Please select only one primary contact. You do not need to have all project partners here. There is a separate section for that information. In the Project Information tab, you'll enter your project name and a brief description of your project. This is a high-level overview summarizing in 1 or 2 paragraphs the goal of your project and how you'll accomplish it. Select which counties and communities your project activities will take place in. Every county and community listed must have some level of work being completed, whether it's workforce, healthcare, or infrastructure. This is not county or community residents that you are targeted to be impacted by the work. This is where actual activity is taking place. You will not receive points for communities that do not have project activities. Next, your project start and end dates. No project activity should start before the grant award, and your project end date needs to be on or before October 31st, 2026. You will not be able to submit your application if your end date is after October 31st, 2026. Please do not include activities in your application that cannot be completed by the October 31st, 2026 end date. The Project Description tab is where the rubric becomes very literal. You will see that we outline investment priorities, economic development, planning, partnerships, and community effort. Note that these are all also in the rubric. You will want to follow the rubric as you're completing this section and including all important scored information. We do not need excess or redundant information. Just make sure you include the basics and are answering every question. If you are copying, pasting text into this section, pay attention to the character limit. If your text is more than 5,000 characters, you will not be able to paste it into the application. Please indicate what you planned and how you planned it. What other efforts are the communities making? Did you involve your communities in the decision making? Are the communities aware of the work that you will be doing, and are they receptive to the process? That is the kind of information that we are looking for here. Again, please reference your rubric as you are completing this section. Please list all project partners as indicated in your MOU and make sure to add the MOU in the attachment section.
The budget section is set up to match the 3 community development components in the rubric. Please note all infrastructure construction activities should be included in community development infrastructure. Budget items are by cost category, then community. Please provide specifics in the activity/description section. You can have multiple of the same cost category for different communities, but each cost category can only be completed for each project location once per section. This tab is relatively streamlined and may not allow for a comprehensive breakdown of the project's budget. Please upload supplemental budget documentation in the attachment section that spells out the budget in detail. Other funding/partner sources are any additional funds you are utilizing or have applied for outside of the Appalachian Community Grant Program. The source of fund name is the specific program. Funding source is whether it's state, federal, or local. And then the source of funding is the agency name, bank, or specific organization where the funds are coming from.
In the performance measures section, you'll need to tell us how you are going to have an impact in your communities and what the transformation will be, and explain how you will measure that impact. This section complements and correlates with the transformational economic impact existing and future development section of the rubric.
Documentation. This is where you will put any planning document as provided through your technical assistance funds or your procured planner. There is no specific format to follow. Attach whatever documentation you have that outline your planning activities. Please include cost estimates and engineering reports. When attaching your documents, please include details in the document names and description. If you have more than one document, please be sure to label them accordingly so that it is easy to understand and connect to the rest of your application. Include which community the document is relevant to and what the document is. Subrecipient agreements are something that we know need to be in place to ensure that the relationship between the lead applicant and subrecipients is established and protects each community participating. We understand that subrecipients may not want to be signed on at this stage. That's understandable, but please have all of the partner information here and some letter stating that the subrecipient agreement will be signed based upon the award. An MOU, or Memorandum of Understanding, is also acceptable. However, the MOU needs to clearly define your relationship and roles between the partners. Additionally, please upload your supplemental budget documents. This would include a detailed breakdown of all costs that may not be fully explained on the budget tab of the application. Other documents can include anything else that you feel is important for us to know that is not included elsewhere in your application. Please do not include documents that are irrelevant to your specific application or publicly available documents. We do not need ARC or GOA's strategic plans, for example. For cost estimates and preliminary engineering, please try to keep these documents timely, ideally within a year. We understand that this is not always possible, but please be as current as you can.
And finally, you'll submit your application. Once you've filled in your name and title, you can submit the document. Please do not submit your application until you are confident that you have all information necessary. We will not accept supplementary information after your application has been submitted. If you submit and your application is missing information, you will get an error message directing you to the section that needs to be completed. Otherwise, you'll see a message at the top of the page. Application is submitted and under review. You can download or print your final application with the print button. Thank you for your interest in the Appalachian Community Grant Program. Please note that we will have open office hours November 3rd and December 1st. Look for additional information on our webpage or sign up for notifications on our email list. Thank you for your time.